Shanahan. Connor Falvey takes down Peter Piensek.
Strap in, buckle up.
Here we go, everyone. Welcome to Drift Masters Championship. My name is Jane Hölse and we are live on Red Bull TV. We are now at the halfway point of the season, and for the round 4 we are in Ahvenisto Race Circuit, one of the most demanding racetracks in Finland. Let's take a look what has happened this season and what's still to come. We start the season in Italy, where Connor Shanahan took the win. Round 2 was held in Madrid, where Peter Piensek managed to take the first place. Last round in Mandela Park, Pavel Kurpelinski secured his first ever Drift Masters victory. And here we are in Finland this weekend. In 2 weeks we head to Riga. After that we move on to the Iron City in Germany, and last but not the least, the Red Bull Drift Masters finals at the BGE Narodowy in Poland. Next, take a look what happened in Ireland, because this round will not gonna be forgotten anytime soon. We haven't seen this many upsets in a long time, starting with the Dave Egan taking down Connor Shanahan in Top 32. Next, it was Connor Falvey's turn to upset another legend of the sport, Peter Piensek. Pavel Kurpelinski advanced to the top 4 after taking down Dwayne McKeever, looking strong all weekend. And one of the biggest battles of the day was all-Irish showdown between Connor Falvey and James Dean. After challenging one more time battle, it was Falvey who earned his place in the final. And it all came down to Pavel Kurpelinski and Connor Falvey, who had the entire home crowd cheering him on. In the end, it was Kurpelinski who took the win, claimed his first ever Drift Masters event victory, and moved to the top of the 2026 championship standings. I bet many of you guys heard that Finland is the happiest country in the world, but we are also known for other things. For example, sauna, black licorice, Lauri Heinonen, Kalle Rovanperä, and some seriously fast drivers. And let's talk about the drivers. Let's go and meet fastest Finnish drift couple, Krisse Aalto and Juha Pöytälaakso.
Mun nimi on Pöytälaakso Juha. Mä tuun Seinäjoelta ja mä oon tullut driftingiin noin 20 vuotta sitten.
I'm Krisse Aalto, originally from Helsinki, but now I live in Seinäjoki and I've been competing in drifting for 14 years now. I was the first female to compete in Drift Masters back in 2023.
Horses don't stop, they keep going. Hey, you can lose your life, but it gon' keep going.
Christina Aalto, firstly, welcome to Drift Masters.
I'm also the spotter for my husband, and we were both competing in drifting when we met.
Se, että mun avovaimo on mulle spotterina, niin mun mielestä se on hyvä ratkaisu ja meillä synkkaa ja toimii toi keskustelu, varsinkin tuossa spotteroinnissa.
We are seeing drifting totally like in opposite ways. I love my car, but for him his car is just a tool. When we started to go to the competitions together, at some point he wanted to try it. If I'm the spotter and he's competing, it was going pretty well, so now we have done it many years.
Että kyllä mä näen sen hyvänä asiana ja mun mielestä se on hyvä, ja Kristina tietää paljon ajaa itsekin, niin se osaa neuvoa mua niin kuin kuuluu.
Unfortunately, Juha's weekend came to an early end due to the engine failure, so he didn't make it to the top 32, but there was still plenty of things for Finnish fans to celebrate. In front of 10,000 spectators, Krisse Aalto became the first woman ever qualifying in Drift Masters for the top 32. Let's give an applause for Krisse. Atmosphere here in Ahvenisto, it's just crazy. These Finnish fans are simply incredible, and it doesn't matter if it's sunshine or rain, the grandstands here are always full, and you can see people proudly wearing their favorite driver's merch. But I'm pretty sure we're ready to go. Suomi, ootteko te valmiita? I think we are ready. Ian, Jacob, are you guys ready?
Jane, we certainly are ready. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 4 of Drift Masters. A brand new circuit, a brand new testing ground for 32 of Europe's best drivers. My name is Ian Waddington. I'm joined by my very good friend, Jacob Gettins. Jacob, yesterday was a roller coaster. We moved away from the theme park. We headed to a roller coaster because Ahvenisto is up and down, high speed and low speed.
Yeah, a lot of questions coming into it, how this would all play out. But for me, qualifying was it was incredible. It was so cool to see the line drive and the style, the big angle, the wall runs, everything that we love in drifting is here at this facility. It's incredible.
It certainly is incredible. And I tell you what else is incredible is the amount of Finnish fans have come out to support this weekend. But we're going to take a look right now at the qualifying results list. This is how it all played out yesterday. If you didn't join us, this is who topped qualifying. Peter Viensek took top spot in qualifying with that 95.7. Val Korpelinski in second place. Jack Shanahan in third with a 95.5. It was a heated qualifying session, and we had 20 90-plus runs.
Yeah, it was wild, and it came down to just these little marks here and there, and it was incredibly difficult on the judges to find these little points back and forth. But this is how the season standings land right now. Polish driver, the surgeon, Paweł Korpelinski, still holding on to that top spot.
Yeah, and extended that 4-point lead over Conor Shanahan yesterday in qualifying by taking that second place. 7 points in the bag. Could be all to play for this weekend. Look, we don't know how it's going to end up after we get through our round of 32 and 16 and who stands on the podium and how the championship looks at the end of today. But we're going to get into that because this is today's schedule. Top 32 kicks off right now at 12 a.m. local time. Then top 16 kicks off at 3:20 p.m. local time. So if you're watching not in Finland, make sure you adjust your sets and get ready to tune in because today's going to be an absolute heater. But the three guys in the judging panel that have all the hard work to do this weekend and a lot of hard work to do yesterday, David Kalas, Tuomo Levimägi, Erasmo Rios and Chris Witowski, they're in the judging tower as always. But David Kalas, it came down to some incredible qualifying runs, but today is difficult.
Today, of course, is very difficult, mainly for the drivers, but for us too. We've been mainly discussing during the briefing the proper lead run. It will be very important on this track, especially in the first corner. The first inside clip and second inside clip, they are very, very crucial for the leader to fulfill them because we set it up them in a way that there is enough space for the chaser, and we would like to see the proximity in the first corner. So it is very important to fulfill them by the leader. Then coming into the outer zone 5, you cannot do the transition too early to lead the chaser into the wall, and then we're having the deceleration at outer zone 6. At that outer zone, the deceleration is marked by 2 red cones, and the driver needs to be very precise to fulfill it correctly and not to decelerate afterwards. Then another crucial part is another inner clip, where if you are too much inside, you can choke up the chaser coming into the last corner and there will be not enough space for it. So it is very challenging on the leader, but also on the chaser, and we will see how the drivers will go with it.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, a technical track, a lot to look at. Plenty of points on the circuit yesterday that threw up a few surprises. And as David said, this isn't an easy track. It's going to be all down to that perfect lead line. This is what the battle rules are. The lead driver has to hit all the clipping zones, maintain consistent angle, drive so the chase car can follow. And then we're going to get into what the chase driver goals are.
Yeah, it really is crucial that the drives the chase driver can follow along. That was the big part of the drivers' meeting this morning. That was very, very crucial.
It certainly is, and they need to maintain close proximity as long as possible, initiate no later than the lead driver, match or better the lead driver's angle, mimic transitions and line of the lead driver. It's all about that lead line today, being on that perfect lead line, hitting all those zones and making sure you're fluid, maintaining speed, and keeping exactly where the judges wanted you yesterday in qualifying. Now, for some of those guys, it was easy. We see them putting in, as we say, 90-plus runs all day yesterday. But can they do it today under the pressure here in front of an incredible crowd? Well, let's have a look at the track and let's speak to 3 drivers that absolutely nailed it yesterday. Well, almost.
Almost.
Let's have a look at our track explanation.
Hello, welcome to Finland. My name is Lauri Heinonen.
And I'm Juha Rintanen.
My name is Mika Keskikorpi. Today we are checking out Finland's new Drift Masters track.
We'll show you what stands out and what will challenge the drivers.
I will show what is the special thing in this new track.
So we start the run full throttle, almost like a drag race, aiming to the outside zone 1 on the wall. It's really intimidating. Then you have to switch, aiming to the inside zone 2, which really sets up the pace for the rest of the run.
You come uphill, you aim for the outside corner. This takes a lot of commitment and sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of engines. You have to be fully committed to the wall, which is one of the scariest plays of this track.
This is very crucial part of the track because you have 150 km speed here. From this part you need to be perfect because there is going to be a wall, but the wall gives you perfect ratio and then you are going over the finish line. Thanks for joining us for this track preview.
Can't wait for the drivers to battle it out on my home track.
Let's get it started.
Well, unfortunately for Lauri Heinonen, we won't be getting it started this weekend because engine failure yesterday and a borrowed car from Mika Keskikorpi couldn't get him into the main show today. But this is one of the crucial parts. Jacob, talk about it for us.
Yeah, this is zone 2, and a big thing that the judges were talking about is your line through zone 2. If you decide to take a really tight line, it's going to choke off the chase driver. So they want you having that trailing wheel going through the box. That's where they want everything lined up. If you are too far in this way, if you're too far close to the cone, if that bumper is catching that cone, you are cutting off that driver completely, and that is not what we want. That does not lead to a good chase, and ultimately that's what we're here for. We want to see some good leads, we want to see some good chase. The next big talking point this morning is going to be zone 6 and the amount of angle that you're throwing through there. During qualifying, we all love it. It was great to see some amazing angles, some amazing rotation and commitment going through that, as we see here with Jack Shanahan. But ultimately, something like this does not actually lead to great tandem. So they're fine with you going up to 90 degrees. Jack, right on the cusp of that, maybe a couple degrees over, but they just said, hey, you can go 90, but anything over that, you're actually starting to decel the car past that point, and that's not going to lead to a good chase. There's no decel zone there. Looks sick, but it's not what we're here to judge or how things are lined up. So just some clarification, get all the ground rules down before we get into competition so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, exactly that, and this track's going to throw up some incredible battles, and those battles are on screen right now. And we looked earlier on, and they said to us in the truck, Jacob, pick out 4, pick out 4, pick out 2. We couldn't. We picked out the top 4 in that one corner of the bracket. Yeah. Viensek versus Bertans, Passer versus Murillo, McKeever versus Olsen, and Shanahan versus Cherba. Some big championship points there in the bag, and those guys will all meet each other as they go through competition as well, depending on who makes it through the competition.
Yeah, and the best part for Paweł Korp-Galiński is he's hoping some of those competitors knock themselves out or lose their battles because he's all the way on the other side on the top right corner. And yeah, I mean, he's obviously got a lot of incredible battles to go through. Clint Van Ort is not going to be easy by any means, but if you're starting to look at championship points, you got to look at the bracket and how things are going to start to lay out. But yeah, half of the top 6 are just in the top left corner.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the crowd are ready. We are ready. The judges are poised in position. And I hope you guys are ready at home because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Top 32. Well, here we go. Down on the line and no messing around straight away. A heated battle. We just spoke about it a few moments ago. It is, of course, going to be your number 1 qualifier, Peter Viensek, to take on the man from Riga. We head to his hometown in just 10 days' time, where Nicolas Bertans will hope to put on a show in front of all of his Latvian fans. But right now, he sits on the line with one thing in mind, Jacob, and that is to take down the man that has been champion before.
Yeah, and for Piotr Viensek, you got to remember, Knack did take him down back in 2023 in Latvia, so this is going to be real interesting.
It certainly is. Well, here we go. We get the green light to go, and they are through the gears and fire into initiation as Viensek puts it right where it needs to be. But look at Bertans, tucks that carbon Kevlar Eurofire up on the door. A little wobble from Viensek as he puts it to the outside zone 3. Now down the hill they come, look for 5. There's no shaking the young Latvian as he now tucks it. Oh, contact on the wall for Viensek. Both guys go wide. Viensek throws it off circuit, and a clean overtake for Bertans, and across the line. Round 4 of Drift Masters has only just kicked off, and from the get-go, we're getting the drama we expected, Jacob. Oh, wow.
Man, chills, goosebumps even. I mean, this started off what looked to be just a great heads-up battle. Piotr Vinsek looks really, really good on initiation, but as we know, Knack is just one of the most aggressive drivers that we've got on grid. Piotr pulling a bit of angle out, coming up over the crest of the hill, trying to pick up some more speed, maybe trying to outrun the young, incredibly hungry driver. And then as they transition out towards the wall, Piotr does make contact with the wall, bounces back, and I don't know if he made contact with Bertans there, but let's get a view from the inside here. This is going to be interesting to see.
And this is going to show us everything, because if Viensek, he did! He took contact on the door. That was a big hit from Bertans.
But was the contact, and this is going to be the hard part here, is the contact from Bertans before the contact with the wall?
Ooh, we're hearing from the judges, Jacob, and we can confirm that the contact was after Viensek hit the wall. Viensek hit the wall first. That caused the decel. Yeah, we're seeing it now on the judges' monitor. We have, obviously, if you guys are only just tuning in for the first time, me and Jacob are watching exactly what you watch from our Red Bull production, but we also have a monitor which is what the judges are looking at. So we can see all of the views. We're very blessed. Massive thank you to Red Bull Media House for giving us all of the tools. And look at the state of that A90 Supra, Jacob, taking on some heavy repairs already from our start line marshal Martin down there. It was a brand new box of tech screws for this weekend, and we're going to need it for the next 4 events, because it's a wall-heavy rest of the season.
Yeah, it's, I mean, carnage, to say the least. And right now, Piotr Vinsek, that's going to be a big, deep breath. He is fully aware that he is not in a great space right now. That is going to be an incomplete in the lead for him, as Nicholas Bertans was able to kind of get that clean pass done. You're only able to do that if the lead driver is
so far off
course. So wow, this is big.
This is huge.
Knack just has to get a clean run done.
Well, he has to put down that really clean lead and hope that he doesn't make the same mistake. They slam through the gears, and you can see Viensek on the back bumper of that Eurofire already. He's hungry and he's angry now as the Polishman is absolutely masked in a cloud of smoke from the back of that V8 BMW Eurofire. Look at that, tags onto the door once again as Bertans goes for the transition, keeps it clean, sensible. The young Latvian, a good head on his shoulders, but look at Viensek fine for, oh, wow! Contact! What is going on at round 4? We crossed the halfway point of the season, and everybody takes their brain out for a moment and says, this is where it matters.
Whoa. I don't want to get too far ahead, but that was weird. All right, let's get into it here. Nicholas Bertans, as we said, he's just got to get a clean run done. All he's got to do is get through this track, make sure that he's checking all the boxes, hitting all the zones, not going off track, not spinning, and it looked clean. Everything looked great. Goes out to the wall through 6. I was a little concerned with the path that he was on there. Big left foot brake, transitions out. Now we have to take a look again. Was there any sort of contact beforehand? That angle doesn't really show it, but we're going to see it from Piotr. He'll be able to tell what happened. He's got that front row view. And it looks like Knack is just over-rotating in front of him.
Yeah, from the first... Oh, he throws his hand up as well.
Well, you're going to be... I mean, for Piotr, you're throwing your hand up probably out of a little bit of excitement, because this may end up forcing a one more time. We've got 2 incompletes in the lead. Unless something else happens... Oh. So is Bertans slowing down in the zone? That's going to be a question, right? Well, anytime you have contact.
So I'm looking at the judge's view, which is a different angle at the moment to this view. And the judge's view from a different shot, a different camera here. Watch this. Watch Bertans. He slows the car. He's not on throttle. He's not on throttle. Now he's on throttle. But look, he's already... And you see the rear wheels. He's in the wall. Slow, and then they pick up speed once again.
Yeah, he's already in the wall at that point in time. And I mean, Piotr's got to push hard, right? If you're in the chase and you're down on that, you've got to push hard. I mean, this is tense here for sure, because at this point, neither of them really know who's going to be at fault for this second part.
Well, here we go with decisions inside him, left for Viensek, right for Bertans, and of course it's going to be a one more time.
Oh, what a gift.
Yeah, David Kalash, just quickly to you, two individual mistakes.
Yeah, we've been not expecting first battle like this. First, Piotr did incomplete mistake at the zone where he hit the wall, and then he was hit by the chaser, and we deemed that fault for the leader. And then basically Nicolas was having it in his pocket, and he over-rotated at the last zone and incompleted there. So we are having 2 incomplete lead runs. We're having not complete chase runs, so we needed to go one more time.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, it's plain to see.
Yep.
Everyone can see it, and from that other camera angle as well, it was clear to see for everyone that Bertans, that you could see the rear wheels, and that's why, if you wonder why these guys run stickers on the wheels, that is to show an indication to the judges when the wheels are spinning or when they're locked up, and you can see the rear wheels on Bertans' car physically slow down and then pick speed back up again. Look, we move it back to the line, to the next bow. It's going to be Kevin Passeur to take on our wildcard driver, Greg Murillo. Look, this young man, Greg Murillo, has been making moves on social media, really putting himself out there, and his first qualifying run yesterday didn't really show us who he was, but the second one Jacob did.
Yeah, he really picked up the pace, and it's been kind of cool to just see his growth online and here at this track.
It certainly is. Well, they're through the gears and slam it to initiation. Look at that from Passeur. You can't let Passeur have an inch because he will run away as he shallows up the angle, and it's a poor lead line in outside zone 3 there for Kevin Passeur as he shallows up once again, flicks the car to angle along the wall. Now tries to drive away for Greg Murillo as he fires it in. Oh, and it's big angle on the wall for Kevin Passeur and across the line.
Yeah, interesting one. I think for Murillo, you got to go into this and know, and this is the big step up. When you wild card, you're not used to driving against drivers like this. You may understand, like, Kevin Passeur is one of the fastest drivers on track very consistently, but you may not truly understand what that means. It does look like Passeur, though, is pulling a bunch of angle out and missing a couple of zones.
Look at the front wheels.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of angle through a lot of these sections of the track, and for Greg, like, you got to try and keep up with it, but the judges did say, you know, we're putting a lot of weight on the lead driver here. We want you to fill the zones. We want you in these specific spots, but I'm not seeing Passeur really fill a few of these zones.
No, for me, outside zone 3, he just ran his wheel along the edge of the white line, which is the edge of the box, so which does indicate that he is off the qualifying line. Look, I mean, Kevin Passeur for me, qualified 16th yesterday, is up in the order, but it wasn't his usual style and finesse. What can he do right now? That car looks like it's gripped up to the max. Murillo fires that car in, big flick to angle. Oh, beautiful initiation from Murillo, but that opens the door for Kevin Passeur as he now jumps right up onto the side of the carbon Kevlar E92. They fire down the hill now for outside zone 5, and it's a nicer lead line for Murillo as he rubs the back bumper along the wall, stands on the accelerator. He looks for that final outside zone. He's on throttle nice and early. Oh, tags the wall, and Passeur hits him across the line.
Yeah, this is a big setup difference between these two vehicles. We've got Passeur, car is incredibly gripped up. It's very, very quick. And for Greg, it's definitely slower. And it's not that it is a slow car by any means, but it is just in comparison to what we see with Kevin, it's a completely different setup. Kevin's kind of pulling him around the track. And part of that is just, that's what that vehicle wants to do. It wants to go fast. It wants to, you know, just barely get enough angle through to keep things going. And for Passeur, he's fighting it the entire way. You can see good angle here for Greg coming through on 6. And Kevin Passeur, he's just in a tough spot. That's the difficult thing when you've got a car that wicked up. When you drive against somebody else who isn't as fast, you are having to woe it up the entire time.
You have to drive the car. And you make your job harder in the chase position.
Yeah, the more you have to force the car to do something it doesn't want to do, the more likely it is that there's going to be a mistake.
Of course, yeah. But for me, I think those mistakes crept in for Kevin Passeur on his lead more than his chase, because the car is so hooked up that he was missing some of those zones. Now, this is all going to come down to the judges and see how they deem that. Both guys out of the car, a little embrace. 2 Estonians stand side by side. Slide him left for Murillo, right for Passeur. It goes to Kevin Passeur. He gets the win. And the Estonian moves on. Unfortunately, we lose our wildcard driver, Greg Murillo. Brilliant to have him here. And you know what? I'm going to say it. Keep your eye on him, because he's going to be back at Drift Masters for sure.
This is not the last time you see him. I mean, although we don't get a headshot of him, so I don't know what he looks like.
Well, here we go.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun battle. Heads up straight away, no messing around. Dwayne McKeever to take on Simon Olsen. McKeever yesterday only one qualifying run to get it done. A puncture on the front wheel of that 2JZ Dean M Sport 180SX. Two Dean M Sport cars once again going head to head. Olsen piloting the S14.9 in the Dean camp for 2026. Here we go, through the gears though. Dwayne McKeever, the normal smoke machine, leads them out as he flicks that car to angle. Olsen knows he cannot let McKeever get away. And speaking to Simon Olsen's spotter, they said just throw it on the door and stay with him, and that is what Simon Olsen is doing, an aggressive transition. As McKeever puts the back bumper of that 180SX towards all, he flick it back once again. Olsen shallows up the angle, trying to nose the 15 on the door and across the line.
Yeah, there's some interesting things going on, especially with Simon Olsen's camp for this round in particular. One, you got James Dean, who's setting up the car, helping you out on that end of things, and you've got the knowledge he's got of going against Dwayne McKeever, and he's got Tarna Kavia in his ears right now, who's a driver that, I mean, knows how to drive the way Dwayne McKeever does, so it's a lot. But at the end of the day, Simon still has to drive the car.
Of course.
Dwayne looks really quick through this. Would like to see him deeper in a couple of zones here or there, but overall, a really, really solid run. For Simon, just a bit further back. That's all it was. It felt a little bit like a safe chase.
Yeah.
I think the car had a bit more pace in it, but it just seemed like he wasn't able to get all the way to the door.
Yeah, I think he just left 10% on the table there in proximity. And on that note, I just want to say, great to see Torane Kavir in the paddock.
Man,
It's been a minute, and we know he's been away. Congratulations once again to him and his wife on their baby, and hopefully we see Kavir back. But right now, we're seeing two Titans go at it as Simon Olsen fires at S14.9 to angle. But look at that, McKeever up into the pocket, onto the door. He knows he needs to be in this one to get the win and force himself into that top 16. Good transition from Simon Olsen and McKeever, door to door as they fire through. And we lose McKeever. He gets lost in the smoke. He's down in no man's land as they get it across the line.
Wow, was not expecting that to happen. Wow, okay, well, let's see where it all went wrong for Dwayne. I mean, was there some sort of mechanical? Did he just get lost in the smoke? A lot of things could happen here. Through our first outside zone, things are looking good. Simon, a little bit tight on that inside clip, but he's got a great line coming up over to the top of that hill. Now he starts to make his way down the mountain and into that next inside clip. Let's take a look. You can already see Simon's car picking up that front tire. Transition out to the wall looks really good. It's nice and smooth. I mean, it's not as snappy as some drivers, but look at, I think Dwayne making contact there.
Ah, yeah, I missed that.
Now I'm wondering if that, Dwayne just transitions a bit early, so he does get lost in the smoke.
I think you were right. I think the contact forced an early transition.
Okay, so now the question is, that contact happens. Is it because Simon is slowing down and not back on throttle at the right time? There are cones laid out. To be able to see it right here. See that? That's our first decel.
The red cone.
Yep, so you're allowed to be decelling there, but as we'll see a second cone come into view here, beautiful, and right there he needs to be on throttle, and to me he was.
But then does he decel after? Where's the contact? I think it was there at the camera. He kind of looks down as well. You can see Simon Olsen kind of look down in the car as if to say, did he just hit me?
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne's gonna hit you, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the way he drives. His bumper budget is all of the budget. So we'll see how this one works out. Judges just taking a lot of looks at what happened.
McKeever kind of knows.
Yeah.
McKeever has been driving for a long time at the highest level in Europe and around the world, in fact. And McKeever will know when he makes a mistake that it's his fault.
Yeah,
drama in the warm-up area. Word is that Connor Shanahan, ladies and gentlemen, has snapped a tie rod in the tyre warming area, and it doesn't look like he will make his top 32 battle. Oh, this is upset. We spoke about this from the beginning of the show. Upset. We had upset in Ireland, and we could have upset already in the first 4 battles of our top 32 here at round 4 at Ahvenisto. And look at Shanahan in the car, the despair, the head has dropped.
Oh man, that's absolutely crushing. He's got, man, I can't even imagine what that's like right now.
And here we go. We're going to see a shot of this. Yeah, we're going to see a replay because we do have multiple camera. Look at it there. Bam, it just snaps.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you how this works, ladies and gentlemen. Once these guys enter the tyre warming area, they have 2 minutes to get to the start line.
Yeah.
And it looks like Shanahan won't make it to the start line, ladies and gentlemen. This could be heartbreak It's over.
Massive.
I'm being told already that it's over for Conor Shanahan. He's top 32. His chance at a podium here at round 4 is over, and we lose Conor Shanahan in the tyre warming area. But do we have a decision between McKeever and Olsen? Slide him left for Olsen, right for McKeever. It's Simon Olsen! Simon Olsen gets the win. David Kalas, quickly, a split judging panel. We see you guys going head-to-head there. We had to calm down and bring in a referee for that one.
Yeah, we've been mainly discussing the area exactly after the outer zone 6, where I believe that Simon slowed down a little bit too much even after the outer zone 6. You can see that the wheels are already spinning just at the end of the deceleration zone. Here is nicely visible. However, for me, the car was still a bit too slow in that section, and we were mainly discussing if that was enough for Dwayne to hit the leader when Russ and Tarmo thought that this was not enough for Dwayne to hit, when I thought that it was mainly a mistake of Simon. So that was the main discussion here, but I was probably wrong because the other two judges thought the other way.
Well, it's always good to have a little bit of a split opinion, because, you know, we've all got our own opinions, and we're going to see a man on the line right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the chase position. There isn't a lead car. It's going to be Benediktas Čerba with a bye run into the top 16. We have lost 2 Irishmen already in the first 4 battles. This is unbelievable. Look at this for Shanahan. Scenes down there in the paddock, and he is absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Nobody wants that to happen. It's absolutely gut-wrenching, and you know, just doing a tire scrub, and it happens. I mean, to finish first you have to finish, and
yeah. It's not the first time we've seen it.
No.
We've seen this before happen at other events, and you know, look.
Here's what I'll say, though. As unfortunate as it is, I am happy it happened there and not coming down the hill.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different situation there.
It certainly is, and I mean, we know some of these guys were clocked coming down the hill at 140 plus kilometers an hour. So from outside 4, you'll see in a moment. So, sorry, from 5. So from here down the hill, we've seen guys doing speed to 140 kilometers plus in practice and in battles. And as you say, Jacob, if that would have failed in the battle, we could have seen somebody get hurt.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, that's probably no solace to him at this point in time. But yeah, I would much rather it happen there than basically anywhere else on track.
Exactly that. It's Shanahan there who just wipes the tears away from his eyes. It's not been the season, you know, the follow-up that he would have hoped for after such a glorious end to 2025.
Yeah, but this is how it goes. This is drifting, and one small thing is the difference between a win and a loss.
It certainly is. Well, there we go. Benediktas Čerba, we make it official, will get the win and advance through to the top 16. And Čerba makes his way off circuit, waves to the crowd. And Shanahan, back-to-back rounds out in top 32, Jacob. This is just heart-wrenching to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know the last time that this has happened, or if it's ever happened to him.
No. Yeah. Well, here we go, back on the line once again, another battle, a lining up, and another Irishman. Can he do his country proud right now as he sits on the line? It will be Conor Falvey, the man who stood on second step on the podium in his homeland in Ireland at round 3. He sits alongside Ite Seda this weekend, racing in memorial of James Walsh, a family friend who unfortunately died in a motorcycle accident. But before we send Falvey off the line, let's have a word with Conor Falvey.
To battle James and Peter on the same day and beat them both is like a dream come true, so I couldn't even believe it, to be honest. It took like a week and a half to kick in and realise that we came second on the Drift Masters event, so it was actually a dream weekend, to be honest.
Well, it was a dream weekend for the young Irishman, and he flies the flag proud. Can he do it again this weekend? That's the big question. I think that's a little bit of pressure on his shoulders, but I tell you what, Jacob, for a young man, he's dealing with that pressure because he's been phenomenal in practice and qualifying. Both cars slam into gears. Ite Seda in that carbon fibre. BMW gets ready to chase down the Nissan Silvia S15. 2-2, JZ's come screaming down the circuit. Look at that from Falvey, a wild initiation, flicks it to angle. It opens the door for Sada, but he doesn't take a step in now, starts to apply the pressure, but it's wobbly from Ite Sada. He can't really find the pace that Falvey has as he fires it onto the wall. It's beautiful from Falvey, just discards the rear bumper along the wall. A little dab of the handbrake in to that final outside zone. Sadek tries to get on the door and almost contact across the line.
Yeah, Falvey unwinds at the end, and this is a big conversation that was had this morning as well as yesterday. So we'll see if that comes into play here, but really like Falvey's run. I mean, it felt smooth. He's still on pace. It looks like he went a bit wide there on that inside clip, so I think that's going to be a bit of a hit for him as well. The inside clip there looking significantly better as they pick up those rear wheels. It's, it's showing you the amount of grip that's going on as we're three-wheeling over the crest of the hill. And Falvey, not a ton of angle through 6, but still looks good, as you said, scrubs off that bumper. Ite said as he's got a lot of time in the chase to try and close the door. And I just don't know if he ever really took advantage of it.
No, he didn't take the bite that I assumed he would, and we've seen him do it before in the past. Ite Sada now jumps into the lead position. 2 young superstars of drifting head-to-head as Sada now leads them through to initiation. Look at this from Falvey. He won't let the young man get away and tucks up onto the inside already as Ite Sada now looks to sell himself in to the run and find that perfect qualifying line. But look at Connor Falvey glued to the door of the carbon fiber BMW. A brave transition as Falvey tucks up on the inside once again. Falvey's on an absolute mission this weekend. As absolutely textbook from the young Irishman.
He's gotten so good so quick. Like his rookie season, we were like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
And then it felt like it stalled for a minute as he was starting to grow and maybe the pressure got to him. I'm not sure, but now, especially after that last round in Ireland, it's just completely different. He's a completely different driver. I don't know what his spotter said, but it's probably something like, yeah, he was close to you, but you can get closer. And he really took advantage of that. I will say, Ite's lead is good. It's really good, and he didn't make the same mistakes that Connor did in his lead run. So to me, there is an advantage for Ite in the lead part of it, but it's undeniable that Connor's got the advantage in the chase. I think this is going to be a pretty tough call.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy call for the judges. No. I don't think there's a wheel off there, actually.
Yeah.
On outside zone 8. Different camera angle.
I know. Hey, Connor's got a couple of missed zones. I'm just saying, I really do. You know, I don't think I could make the pick. And Ite as well, he's got angle coming across the line. A fair bit. But yeah, Connor Falvey, I mean, that's one issue that he's going to have to keep in mind if he ends up moving on, him unwinding that car right at the finish line. So I think he just got the front wheels over before it straightened out, but either way, why take that risk?
Yeah, here we go. Both guys out of the car and waiting for the decision. Both nervous, 2 young superstars. Ready to make a move into the top 16. Who will be going through? Will it be Ite Sada in that full carbon fiber BMW? Will it be Connor Falvey, the Irishman, in the Nissan Silvia S15? We await the decision to drop him from our judges. A little deliberation there, but it looks like they may have a score.
Yeah, this is tense. I mean, 2 drivers, you know, really at the starting points of their careers, and so much more to do.
Well, there we go, decisions in, slide them left for Sadat, right for Connor Falvey. It's going to be a one more time. It's going to be a one more time. I'm guessing proximity from Falvey, bad lead line from Falvey.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, there you go, Jacob. You know what you're talking about.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while we get it right.
Yeah.
Tomo looks at me like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just talking. Here we go. We're back on the line. A one more time battle. The heater that kicked off the top of the show. Viensek to take on Nicholas Bertans. We said Bertans, we go back to his hometown in just 10 days' time for round 5. Round 5 of Drift 5 already, Jacob.
I know.
It's going too quick. Needs to slow down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
We go back to Bertan's hometown. He would love to go back there with a few more points in the bag, knowing that he took down the man that was crowned the King of Riga before.
Yeah, that's solid point. I mean, there's a lot to play for at this point, and some bragging rights.
Some bragging rights. Well, here we go. We wait for the green light. It's going to be Viensek to lead out Bertans as they come off the line to scream through the gears. What can Bertans do this time? Can he force another error as Viensek fires in the A90 Supra? Mistakes won't be made this time from the Polishman, but they go door-to-door on contact on the outside zone. Judges will be taking a stiff look at that as they fire down the hill. Bertans tucks up onto the inside once again as Viensek flexes the back end of the Supra off the wall. Oh, and a big dive and contact, and they're both into the wall. Wow.
Oh, man. And that looks like a BMW that is crab walking, which is not going to be good. Oh,
yeah, it does look like he's took some heavy damage there. Break this down for us, Jacob, because there is so many points to look at.
Bertans is just so aggressive, and a lot of it kicks off for that inside zone too. Piotr going a little bit wide through there. We'll see in this replay. Just missing that, and then Bertan's already making contact. Now Piotr stays in it, and he does a great job. I mean, that is so much work to get that car to come back in an angle after being pushed like that. So fantastic work there for Piotr. And then as we come down the hill, you can see the speed and blowing off the hats and hair of our dedicated media personnel. And right here, Bertans gets caught in the smoke a little bit, transitions out. Now, where I think this is going to be make or break is right here. Is Piotr back on? Oh, the contact's made in the decel. Once again, I try not to jump ahead too much here. There is a decel area as delineated by the 2 red cones. So Piotr is able to decel in that section. Bertans needs to allow Piotr to be able to do that. Wow. And that's a lot of damage. Yeah. So
so how this plays out right now. Sorry, Jake.
No, you're good.
You're overwhelmed by the moment, and so am I. Everyone is. So how this works now is we wait to see who's deemed at fault, and I'm being told right now that Nicholas Bertans is deemed at fault for the contact by the judges, which means he won't be able to repair the car, and that means that he will be disqualified for the rest of the competition. Jacob, heartbreak for the young Latvian.
Yeah, it's this has been his biggest struggle. Is he's a phenomenal driver. He's easily, I would say he's the most aggressive driver we have on grid right now.
Yeah,
the dives he makes, like the passion he has while driving. It's been this last 5% of his driving that he's fighting, and it's because he's driving at 105. We've seen it with so many legendary drivers, and once they figure that out, once they can understand how to come back a little bit, they're unstoppable. And really, that's where I feel Nick Nack is right now.
Look at the front wheel on that Supra.
Yeah, that's not great
either. That Supra has taken a battering this morning. Right, so just
even the rear
as
is
well.
Looking not. Yeah,
there was shards of wheel that were flying up from the cameras. Vienseg waves to the crowd. How this works now is Peter won't have to do a buy run,
right?
Because there is damage sustained to the car, and obviously we need to move on with competition. So he'll be sent back to the paddock. We do need to make the call official from our judges. You see Vienseg down there, going to get the decision. Here we go. It can only slide one way, and of course it's going to be Peter Vienseg taking the win, advancing onto the top 16. A shake of the head from the Polishman. Not an easy start to the weekend. We have to go to David Kalashu. I want to have a quick word.
Again, another thing which we were completely not expecting. First mistake happened in the first part of the first corner, where Piotr did pretty big mistake when he was going offline, shallowing, and then there was a contact. This first contact was not the cause of battle to end. It was a huge mistake from the leader. Nicolas was having a lot of points at that moment, but then we are coming to the last corner where on the transition, Nicolas is getting too much inside. The car is having way faster line and hitting the leader, pushing him into the wall, and that is ending of the battle. So that one we deemed at fault for the chaser, and that is the one which caused the end of the battle.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, I mean, this track is going to be throwing up a lot of upsets all day. If it's going to carry on like this, we might not have a voice by the end of it, Jacob. We go back to the line. It's going to be one of our wildcard drivers who've done an incredible job on the first qualifying run. Is, of course, Paulios Perkio. He's going to be taking on a man from Hungary that is determined to do well this weekend. Swapped out an engine on Friday night after engine failure in Friday's practice. It's going to be Kevin Pascolti from Hungary to take on the local Finnish driver. He has all the fans in the grandstand cheering his name, but can he throw down with the best from around the world? And they hammer through the gears. Pascolti flicks that GR86 to angle. Look at this from Perkio, right up onto the side already, no messing around. They get into it up onto the top end of the hill as Kevin Pascolti leads him through a real nice lead line at the moment. Look at that from Perkio, though. He waits for the transition as Pascolti now leads him through the final zones. Perkio takes a different line, but can he get back onto the door? And he can't.
All right. I mean, listen, this is a big step up here for Paulios. I mean, he's the 2025 Finnish champion. So this is the next big step in his career, and he's getting a taste of what it is like. Because look, you can be a national champion, but you have to remember how many national champions are here. How many, you're fighting the best drivers in the world right now. And for Paulius, he's doing a really, really good job. The question is just going to be, is it enough? He is really back and forth on that wheel. So he's trying to figure out how much angle am I putting in, how much am I pulling out to regain proximity. I do like it that he's kind of working that wheel. It would be nice to see him a little bit more stable or just right into the side of Kevin, but it's just not quite there. Piscotty though, great run. Didn't see any massive issues with it. It was really solid, but for Paulius Perkio, a little bit more, just a little bit more.
A little bit more, another 10% would have done the job. Well, here we go, they're off the line. Perkio now to lead out. Kevin Piscotty as they slam through the gears to initiation. Perkio fires that BMW right to the edge of the circuit, and that opens the door once again. But did Kevin Piscotty back out? He gets himself back into it again. He takes a bite out of the side of that BMW E36. Oh, a little bit more contact from Kevin Piscotty. He's absolutely wicked up this weekend. He's hungry for it. As Piscotty needs to make a dive through the smoke, Perkio fires at a big angle in that final outside zone and across the line.
Really liked what Piscotty did at the very end of that last transition. I think he was starting to get lost in the smoke, as it seems a few drivers are, but he had a lot of patience. He didn't just transition right back out. He just kind of waited until he was able to gain some vision here. For Paulius, really solid lead run. He's very, very stable, but it's really hard to deny what Kevin Piscotty is doing there. He's keeping the pace. He's doing a great job through the transitions. He's not overcommitting at any point. I'd like to see him a little deeper in some parts, and I think he got caught out just a little bit through 6. And then here we go with Paulius coming through this last zone. Gives you just an idea of what it looks like. Yeah, so this is the part where I'm like, for Piscotty, he kind of overshot it. Now he's in the smoke, but he waits. He waits until the smoke clears and then gets the rest of the transition done. Doesn't really fall in order. Yeah, it's tough to say. I think it's going to be a tough one either way, but we'll see how it ends up playing out.
Well, there we go. Look at those beautiful slow-mo shots from Addy on that Phantom camera, our Red Bull crew providing all of the beautiful shots this weekend. Judges saying a little bit of left foot brake in there from the lead car out, inside zone 7, which is a full throttle zone. So here we go, decisions in, slide them left for Perkio, right for Piscotty. It's going to be the Hungarian Kevin Piscotty gets the win, advances through, and we lose one Finnish driver in the top 32. But we would love to see Paulius Perk again in Drift Masters, because my God, what a driver.
He's got the accreditation now. I would not be shocked if we see him a little bit more, maybe even this season, who knows. Next up, another fun one. We talked about some Finnish battles here. Mika Keskikorpi, Juha Rintanen. This will be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, look, an all-Finnish battle. Good for the Finns, bad for the Finns at the same time. They lose a driver, but what one will it be? Will it be Juha Rintanen, the OG, or will it be the man that is rising through the ranks right now? And it is, of course, Mika Keskikorpi in that BMW F22. He fires through the gears and flicks that car to angle. The GR86 looks for the door as they fire through. The two Finnish go at it at the top end of the hill. But Mika Keskikorpi's on an absolute flyer right now as he puts that car right to the edge of the circuit. Juha Rintanen needs to make a move. He needs to dive up onto the side of that purple and green BMW as they fire into that final outside zone. Keskikorpi on an absolute flyer.
It's amazing how much 8 is really coming into play.
Yeah.
You know, we talked a lot about these different zones, but it all culminates at that last section. So take a look here, Mika Keskikorpi, big, wide initiation like that, coming up through that inside zone, just a bit too inside, and that is a part we talked a lot about. It can close the door for the chase driver. It doesn't give them an opportunity to be able to get into the side of them. As Mika now coming down, not a ton of angle there. Look at that front end dip. As soon as he gets on the brakes there, the whole front end of that BMW dips down. Now we can see inside 4th gear, just finding rev limiter, trying to get that grip down. We'll probably see him. No, he doesn't go down a gear. A couple of drivers are opting to drop down into 3rd through that section. So interesting to see how he's got that car geared up. And for Juha Rintanen, I think there's a few spots where he wasn't able to gain proximity just because of Mika's line. But I think at the end there, same thing. I would expect Juha to be kind of all over the side of the BMW.
Yeah, I think that's outside zone 8 is a place where you really stamp the authority at the end of the run. Well, they're back off the line and through the gears. And look at Keskikorpi hunched over, ready for action as he looks for the side of that GR86 too. Jay-Z screams from underneath the bonnet of Juha Rintanen's car as they come up and down the top of the hill. Oh, and a big wash there from Mika Keskikorpi. Oh, it's all out of formation and something's not right as Juha Rintanen stays in it. Keskikorpi tries to fight to the end, but that's a big mistake from Keskikorpi. He's in the wall!
We saw it early.
Yeah.
You called it. There was something going on as that car washed out. It did some very, very strange movements. And Mika, unfortunately, out into the wall. The fourth battle between these two drivers over the years. And unfortunately, Mika Keskikorpi not able to even things up. And all right, let's see how this works out. So Juha Rintanen looks really, really good. Very stable, very smooth. And I wonder if we're going to be able to hold this on board.
Yeah, and see.
I'd like, if we can hold this on board all the way through. So a bit of understeer there for Mika already. It's just cutting out over the hill.
Yeah, it looks like he's fighting understeer for most of the run, but it's here. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, wow. The car just bites and then throws him. But even through 5, even just before that section, the car was not in a good spot. That's really strange. Yeah, and he's even still, he's really battling something in the car. I'm wondering, a part of me thinks like front end, but I'm also like, it almost seems like it was like cutting out on power.
Yeah,
and then it was gripping
here
up.
we go. We're going to see what happens on the transition.
Or the revs are dropping. No. Yeah, that's really weird. That's not a roller coaster you want to be on.
No. Unsure what happened. I'd love to hear word from Mika Keskikorpi if there was something wrong with the car, but you are written very wide there.
Yeah, I just didn't see a lot of smoke out of Mika, so that's where my brain goes to power, but he's still holding the revs up. Could be a boost issue. You know, the revs are still going to be going up, just not making the same amount of power. Wild speculation on my behalf, so just putting that out there.
That is what we do.
Yeah.
Speculate.
Listen, we're just like everybody sitting at home. We're taking guesses. We're trying to figure it out as well. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. That's why we're commentators.
It certainly is. Well, it's only going to go one way, and he had a frown on his face at the beginning of the weekend, and now he has a smile on him. Juha Rintanen gets the win, advances through to the top 16, and Juha will be very happy with that. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's completely... It just manages to get it off the circuit, though, but that's not in a good shape.
Yeah, I'm glad he was able to drive that off, but I mean, I'll be popping by his pits a little bit later on to find out what was going on.
And there we go, back on the line, another Finnish driver. Well, two Finnish drivers. And it's going to be Jarkko Jula to take on Chrissy Auto. Chrissy Auto making history this weekend, the only female driver to ever qualify for Top 32 here at Drift Masters, and unbelievable to see. So good.
Yeah, super, super cool to see. And I mean, she's got quite an uphill battle in a lot of ways. Jarkko Jula looking really, really good through qualifying, taking the 12th spot. Another driver swapping an engine out. But yeah, this is big.
Yes, certainly is big. Chrissy Auto, look, blows a kiss to the camera. A signature move as she sits on the line, ready to do battle. Jarkko Jula to lead them out. That 2JZ to her chaser. JZX100 screams through the gears. The turbo V8 in Chrissy Auto's BMW put to work, but she gives Jarkko Jula too much room on initiation now. Has to rein him back in as Jarkko Jula fires around the top end of the circuit. All big wash from Chrissy Auto, but she holds on to it. Jarkko Jula not really doing a whole lot out here, just doing what he needs to do for the judges as he puts it into that final outside zone and across the line.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is just, it's a bit of a horsepower discrepancy. It's not massive, but, well, I mean, 900 and 850, so yeah, it's a lot closer than I thought.
Yeah.
Chrissy rolled the line, which was good, but then just wasn't able to get the timing down, and that's the big part. Still stayed in the fight all the way through. Jarkko Jula just looks solid. He's looked solid to practice. He looked really solid in qualifying. It's a tough battle for sure. We'll see what happens when they swap things around. I think it was, Alto was just, didn't get the timing off the line.
Yeah.
She rolled it. She tried to get ahead of Jarkko, which is good, but you have to stay in it and let Jarkko pass. I think she lifted, and then by the time she got back on throttle, Jula was gone.
Yeah.
So, and then you're just trying to catch up for the rest of the battle.
And that comes with experience.
Yeah.
From being in top 32s, being in top 16s, battling these guys and getting that game down.
And we don't run a chicane anymore.
Nope.
We run the light
and
system
laser,
with the laser. Yeah, very high tech, very 2026. And that can be a difference as well. If you come from a series where you run a chicane, you're used to that lead driver having to slow down and time it. This is very different.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, Jarkko Jula's car getting very hot there, and looks like he
reaching
is good
for the
to
door.
go. Yeah, reaching for the door as Jarkko Jula sits in the car, ready to do the second half of the battle. Chrissy Auto in that lead position in that Chevrolet V8 Turbo. BMW E36 as the Finnish fans now start to chant. One of these Finnish drivers will be making it through to the top 16. Chrissy Aalto with a very tentative initiation, very shallow. But Jarkko Jula has failed to initiate there.
Oh, interesting.
And now that's going to come down to the judges as Chrissy Aalto puts that car to outside zone 5. Another mistake there from Jarkko Jula coming down to outside zone 6 as Aalto fires into that final outside zone. Jarkko Jula goes for the front wheel, puts that car on an angle and across the line.
All right, this is going to be super interesting. Like, we're going to have to take a pretty hard look at the initiation because that's really what the judges are going to be looking for. So, as we see, I mean, Chrissy gets out there. She's not on an amazing line, isn't able to get one, and the question's going to end up being, did Jarkko Jula ever really initiate? I don't know. I really don't know. And Chrissy, I mean, through the rest of the run, you just keep driving. Jarkko Jula's got to fight back. I'm sure somewhere in his head he went, oh, I think I might have messed up there.
And he made a mistake there as well. He kind of got down on the inside.
Yeah.
We see this in Mondello Park as well. It was spoke about quite a lot in Mondello Park about getting himself caught up on the inside before the transition to a wall. And you could see Jarkko Jula do that. Then he kind of realizes he's in panic mode. He needs to do something. Jumps onto the door into outside zone 8 and really only finds the front wheel across the line. This is going to be, again, a tough one for the judges, or maybe simple. If he failed to initiate, it could be an incomplete.
Yeah, that's the kind of big part I was looking at. So it'll be, just be interesting to see. There we go, all the bits of rubber flying up. It's amazing how much rubber these tires pick up with how soft they are. So pretty wild, and you get a great shot there. Chrissy Aalto doing her thing, round track. And a big hug.
Yeah, two very good friends behind the scenes, two guys that have been drifting together. And here we go. Decision is inside of left for Jarkko Jula, right for Chrissy Aalto. It's going to be Jarkko Jula. Jarkko Jula gets the win and advances onto the top 16. A big embrace. And look at this. And there we go. Look at this. Two good friends. David Kalas, I'm going to quickly come to you. We assumed that Jarkko Jula failed to initiate, but you see it differently.
Yeah, this is something what we discussed a lot with drivers on the briefing, that we would like to see predictable initiation where it is fast rotation that the chaser can get quickly into the pocket and be chasing from the beginning. Unfortunately, Chrissa was having very tentative initiation where the pocket appeared way too late. That made life of Jarkko too hard, and we blamed that mistake of Jarkko in the beginning on the leader.
There we go, yeah, and it was a tentative initiation. You look back on the replay, you can see that Chrissy Aalto's, just not committed to the run, and that's what we're looking for, that big commitment on initiation, Jacob.
Yep, and that's why we got judges.
Yeah, certainly so, yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to judge it, would you?
Nope.
No.
I'm very happy with where I am.
Yeah, no, I'd like to be an armchair judge, that's what I call it.
Well, we were for years, and then they just happened to put microphones on us, so that's all it is. Take a look at the Finnish fans, and the official Finnish drifting fans.
You have to get it right. Get it right. They will be in the paddock later on.
I think there's like an initiation process, yeah.
Well, Chrissy is down in the paddock, and she is with the wonderful Jane. Jane.
Chris, you did everything you could this time. It wasn't enough, but how do you feel?
Amazing. It doesn't matter actually, because now I'm one step closer. Now I just need to get more grip, more seat time, and then I will be back.
And you really did history. You're the first female driver in here in Top 32 Finland. Make some noise for Krisse. How proud are you of yourself? How proud are you?
I'm speechless actually. I don't know. This was great. Kiitos kaikille.
Thanks for everyone, she said. Thank you so much, and maybe we see you somewhere else.
Hopefully.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, hopefully.
Start the rumor mill.
Hopefully start the rumor mill. Here we go. We're going back to the one more time battle between Connor Falvey and Ite Seda, undecided by the judges. The poor lead line from Connor Falvey, but the proximity and the chase, it weighed itself out, and there was only one way to go, Jacob.
100%. I think that's the best call that could have been made there with a battle that looked like that.
Exactly that. Well, here we go. Door slam closed. And they look for that green light as they come off the line. It will be Falvey to lead out. Ite Seda. These two guys now felt each other out. They know the grip, they know the pace, they know exactly what they're going to do as Falvey throws in a lovely initiation once again and stands on the accelerator. That 2JZ underneath the bonnet of that Nissan Silvia S15 screams as he comes down the hill, and Falvey pushes that car right to the edge of the circuit, but Sada is in the pocket once again. He goes on the inside. He makes a small mistake on outside zone 6. What can he do now on that final outside zone as Falvey gets into the wall and across the line?
Well, he kept the angle going. Unfortunately, outside zone 8 has not been Falvey's. It just hasn't been.
Not been good to a lot of the drivers.
I know. Yeah, it's a tough call out there. It's a really, really tough spot on track, but yeah, for Falvey, I like that he's trying to clean things up. He's trying to go a lot wider through these sections, trying to be a bit more accurate on the inside clips. Like he's taking the notes. I mean, listen, I've heard he's passed all of his exams, so he's obviously a great student. As we get an amazing view of how fast these cars are coming down the hill, and upwards of over 140 kilometers an hour through that section. If they said same thing in the chase, just I want to see him on the door. I want to see him rubbing paint. I mean, not paint clear coat for him, but I really want to see that aggression out of him, and it just hasn't been there. It's a little too safe.
I think it is just safe. I think then that's all it comes down to, and I think safe doesn't win you battles at Drift Masters. That's the problem.
It can, though. That's the thing. Not always, but it can.
Well, here we go off the line. Ite Sada now to lead out Connor Falvey. We know Falvey won't go safe. He'll go on to the door, and he looks for the door already as Ite Sada now stands on the throttle, starts to drive away. Looks like they've turned that car up a little bit more grip dialed in for Falvey as they fire down the hill. Falvey goes for an early transition, trying to find the side of that carbon fiber BMW. Goes for an early transition, knocks the front bumper off his own car, but it just about holds on as Falvey tacks the rear wheel across the line.
Oh, man. Yeah, just, I mean, Falvey didn't have the same proximity he had on the first set of battles. Ite set another really good lead run, a little bit further off that inside clip as I say that. But yeah, Falvey not able to pick up the pace on this one, so I think they found a bit more grip in the car. They've whipped it up a bit more. It's quicker. And I'm not sure if Falvey was able to match a lot of the pace all the way through. Connor's got to cut a few lines here or there just to try and get back in the side of it. It's just another tight battle from both of them. And I mean, not for anything super negative. It's just how it's been. It's a pretty solid
heads up battle.
Yeah, it is. It's just they're both at a very similar level right now when they're driving, and it makes for a great battle.
It certainly does. Well, Falvey there for me, really stamping the authority across the line.
But Falvey did struggle in the lead on 8, and Ite Sada had a great outside zone 8. So it's another really, really tough battle, an incredibly difficult decision.
Yeah, look at this. Look at Falvey, the early transition. Look at that, running that car right down onto the door on outside zone 6.
You're not making it easy.
Out of the car, ready for the decision. Who's going to take it through? Will it be Ite Sada? Will it be Connor Falvey? It's going to be Ite Sada. Sada gets the win. Falvey shakes his head. He knows he didn't do enough, and Ite takes it back to the paddock. He moves into the top 16 after the one more time. And we go back to the start line to a big one.
This is huge. This is championship implications right now. Paul Korpelinski sitting on the top of the throne against the wild Dutchman of Clint Van Oort. This is drastically different ways of driving. Similar vehicles, two completely different ways of getting this done.
Well, before we send those guys off the line, it's Korpelinski.
I think it's very important, and I think it's a great practice tool. I base a lot of my preparations on virtual drifting, and without that, I don't think that I would be prepared at that level. I know the sequence of corners, what's coming after what. I know roughly where the zones will be placed. First of all, we can save a lot of important time on track.
Yeah, well, there we go. Korpelinski talking about using the simulator to get some seat time on this track before we came here to Finland. Yeah, you were talking about the two different styles of driving. Yeah. Look, for me, Clint Van Oort not had the best run at Drift Masters in 2026, but did finish in 4th place at a local championship here in Finland just last weekend. What can he do right now against a man who's leading the championship? Two wild initiations, but they both pull it off. As Korpelinski puts that car to the edge of the circuit, Clint Van Oort knows he can trust the Polishman. On the door goes Clint Van Oort. As they go for the transition, Clint Van Oort times it lovely. Now looks for the opposite side of the car. They come back once again. Clint Van Oort looking to jump up onto the door. Korpelinski across the line. I thought there there was going to be contact.
Yeah, the clench from both of us was real. It was wild. What I gotta say though, Paul Korpelinski trying to out-style Clint Van Ort was not on my bingo card. That was not what I thought was gonna happen here. I figured Paul would come out of the gate, throw down just a really solid, clean run. But some of the angle and the rate of transition that he's got, especially when we head out to the wall. Look at that little hip check there. Does push Powell a bit wide. I do think they made contact there. Let's see, was there a big change? Oh yeah, you can see Korpelinski's car shift just a little bit. Powell stays in it though, and then great transitions from both of them. This is fun. I expected Korpelinski to be very clinical, as we come to expect from him. But Clint Van Ort, man, he's as scrappy as they come.
Yeah, Clint Van Ort has a wild driving style, and I love it. I'm here for it because it's exciting, it's risky, it's putting the car where you wouldn't expect someone to put the car. Look at some of these dives. Look, bumper-to-bumper transitions. Clint Van Ort goes for it.
Yeah.
And for me, look at this. The dive tags the door across the line. I thought that was going to be contact. Clint Van Ort risking it all this weekend. And as I say, a bit of a redemption run this weekend after a poor round 3. But we swap them around. Clint Van Ort now has to lead out Pavel Korpelinski. We know Korpelinski has a good lead line, qualifying up there in second place. But what can Clint Van Ort do, knowing he has the surgeon breathing down his neck? Come off the line and through the gears. As Clint Van Ort, the Flying Dutchman, puts that car across the circuit, flicks it to angle, lovely initiation as he opens up the throttle. What can Pavel Korpelinski do as he tries to find the side? And he almost does, but he kind of gets cut off there on the inside. Judge will be looking at that. It's wide for Clint Van Ort as he fights down to outside turn 6, back on throttle, nice and early. Clint Van Ort looks for the final outside zone. Korpelinski dives through the smoke, but he doesn't have the proximity and across the line.
Yeah, this is really going to come down to what was talked about in the drivers' meeting this morning, and that is leaving the pocket open, leaving the door open, making sure you are driving in a way that the chase vehicle has a shot at being able to chase you. Clint Van Ort, I mean, always big style, big angle, lots of aggression coming through this top section, but look at how far inside he is on that zone. That means that Powell has nowhere to go. He's got to stay in the pocket. Now, he does a great job there. He doesn't overcommit. He kind of knows that Clint's in the wrong spot on that run, but he's got to hang in there a lot longer than he needs to. It also means that Clint is going to go wide. He's going to go wide out to the curb, and there it is. And then they transition back out. Powell has got to stay in the pocket here. Clint a little bit on the inside again. Powell has to actually transition before Clint does in order to make it happen. So there you go. Look at how far, once again, on the inside of that zone he is. It means that there's nowhere for Korpelinski to go. He has to stay back there and wait. He actually throws on the brakes, falls back, transitions earlier, and then allows Clint to do it.
Yeah, so. And for me, it was Clint Van Ort doing what exactly the judges said not to do in the lead position.
Sorry, I was getting kudos from the judges. Like, you nailed it. I was like, okay, cool. One time.
You got it right?
I got it, yeah. No.
Yeah?
It's just,
well done.
It's just, it's tough, but I love the way that Korpelinski adapted to it.
Well, here we go. Slide him left for Van Ort, right for Korpelinski. It's going to be Pavel Korpelinski. Keeps the championship hope alive. But for Clint Van Ort, it is a sigh of relief. It is a weekend where he managed to get himself into the show and did get out there and put it on in competition. We go back to the line to Zacharil taking on Alan Hines and Marco Zacharil. The higher qualifier opting to chase first.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we haven't been keeping track of that.
Nobody has changed, that's why.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oh, you've been keeping track.
I've been keeping track, yeah.
It's normally my job, but I appreciate that. Swapping jobs for the day. It's like take your kid to work day. Yeah, Alan Hines, I mean, we talk about sim drifting a lot, especially with that quote a little bit earlier on with Korpelinski. Not many drivers on this grid have as much time with sim as Alan Hines.
No, they certainly don't. Alan Hines was looking good yesterday in qualifying. What can he do right now? He wasn't looking as good as Marco Zacharil, though, as they hammer through the gears. The high qualifier tries to jump onto the back end of that 2JZ Nissan Silvia S14.9. As look at this for Alan Hines. He's absolutely up and gone. And Marco Zacharil can't really get himself into the fight here. The back of that car smashed to pieces as Alan Hines runs the wall. He gets into that final outside zone, tags the wall. Zacharil goes for it. Wow.
Okay.
Sketchy end to the run.
Very sketchy, very sketchy. As we saw in qualifying, and as we're seeing right now, I love stylish Alan Hines. He started off the season, it's a big thing coming in as a rookie, didn't have the start he really wanted to, but he feels like he's comfortable in this car finally. He's throwing big angle, he's committed to so many of these transitions. Look, the speed coming down, and Yeah, you can see there, that is where he makes contact in the last zone. He just overcommits just a little bit. The car washes a bit out on outside zone 8, and unfortunately gets a tap in there. That's going to be a deduction, but Marco Zaccaril just never found the pace in the car.
No.
He just couldn't. Right from the beginning, you know, he at no point was it a quote-unquote inactive chase, but he just could not get in the groove, couldn't find the grip and keep up with the speed of the young Irishman, who's now going to be sending a bill for another bumper.
Yeah, I think for me, Zaccaril maybe thought that having Hines lead first would be the best option. Maybe he thought that Hines didn't have the pace, but Hines certainly had the pace.
I mean, the tire factor hasn't really been strong here.
No.
You know, everyone's getting easy 2 runs out of it. A few drivers actually getting 3 with only 1 tire kind of wearing out. Because obviously we've got that big right-hand sweeper. So I don't think it would be a tire play unless he thought maybe I'll let Alan wear out his tires and I'll have just a little bit more grip for my lead. We'll see though, because I didn't see a lot of pace out of Zaccaril, so not entirely sure what was going on. It is also possible, once again speculation, if Zaccaril is concerned that his engine may not be where it is or there's a mechanical, sometimes drivers will chase first because they go, if I want to brake, I want to brake in the chase, not the lead.
Not in the lead.
It just, Marco just seemed like he was, 5 kilometers an hour slower than what we were expecting. Or Alan was 5 over what we were expecting.
Yeah, what we were expecting. Well, there we go. We got the duct tape out and the tech screws, speed screws.
Just all of it.
Do you
think we'll get spray foam next? Starting to do body works.
I think that's taking it maybe a stretch too far.
You say that, but look at all the tools we got now. Now he's got a helper. This is crazy.
Yeah, he's got employees now.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Marsons are duplicated. Nah, just leave that part. It's fine. It's active aero.
Well, he's chasing as well. They're gonna screw that down.
Okay.
He wants to do a good job.
Yeah, it's good. Hi, Alan. He's chill, man. He's super calm. It's good. That's really good to see too. You want a driver that's like that.
Also dangerous.
Yeah. He can be. He's such a phenomenal driver, and it's been cool to watch him now with this big, full season debut. He was a wild card last year in a couple of rounds, bringing his own vehicle with that insane rear wing setup. And if you remember that, kind of like a shooting brake style on an S chassis. But yeah, now in a different vehicle that was running in the Middle East, had some crazy setups there. Now finally made it back over to Europe, as we are now still seeing repair. Oh wow!
Oh, we got an angle grinder now as well. So we're going to do some serious repairs now. We're going to remove the spoiler, weight reduction during the run.
We're low on battery. I think at this point we just commit to it. We just leave it.
Yeah, changing the aerodynamics of the car in the lead.
Oh, see, there we go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. Done.
Yeah. Brute force and ignorance will always beat out skill. There we go.
Yeah, Alan Hines in the car, gives a thumbs up. Martin says, you're good to go now. We just rebuilt the back of the car for you. So he now will get ready in that chase position. Zaccaril, I wonder if he sits on the line now nervously thinking the plan didn't work.
Yeah.
Now we have to push 110 in the lead.
Let's see. I'd be very interested to see what Zaccaril does here.
Yeah, well, Zaccaril from the Czech Republic in that Volkswagen-powered 4-cylinder BMW F22 comes off the line. Alan Hines in that carbon fibre Nissan Silvia S15, the 2JZ screens. Can he find the door of the Czech Republic's driver? And he can right away, straight off the get-go. Hines tags him though and puts himself into a wobble. Now has to reset and go again as Zaccaril goes wide for the outside zone down the hill. Looks for the final 2 outside zones, door to door. There's no separating Hines. Oh, big transition into that final outside zone from Zaccaril.
I might double down on my theory that Zaccaril's car is not performing top tier.
Yeah.
Some of the sounds that were coming out of it, like you could hear the engine really grunting. When he was running practice and through qualifying, it was high strung. It was really, really loud. And man, look at Hines. Both of them stay in it though. Love it. Absolutely love to see it. It just didn't feel like Zaccaril had the pace out in the lead. Now, Alan does have to adapt to it. Is this where we're going to get contact here in just a second? A little bit of understeer, catches him, doesn't even blink, stays in it. Great job there from Alan Hines. I mean, not a great job making contact, but a great job of... Oh, so Zaccaril is tight on that inside.
Yeah.
Alan's got nowhere to go. When you're on a tighter line in the chase, you're always going to
gain speed.
Yeah, you're all, you got 2 circles at different radiuses. You're always going to pick up more speed.
Zaccaril's car not making a whole bunch of smoke either. I think you could be right.
This is what I'm getting at. It just did not feel like it was top tier. Like he should be billowing smoke right now, and it's a wisp. He does there, but I feel like that was a big clutch kick to get that to snap back out. So, but here's the thing: is like you're not really judged on that.
No.
It's a kind of a strange gray area in drifting, because you're supposed to adapt to the lead car, but if the lead car is running at 40% less horsepower than what it started with, you know, how do you adapt to that?
Exactly that. With both guys out of the car, Hines assesses the damage. Slide him left for Hines, right for Zacharil. It's going to be a one more time.
Okay.
It's going to be a one more time between these two guys. So back into the paddock, reset, refresh, and go again, and we move it along.
Hopefully Zacharil's got enough.
Battle. Yeah, we're going to go back to the line to the next battle. It's going to be Diogo Correa to take on Kuba Brzezinski. Before we send them off the line, we're going to hear from Jakub Brzezinski.
I did a lot of sim practices. On the sim, this track is quite similar. I did one competition before Finland DMP Polish Drift Championship, which was good also practice, and I won this competition, which means we are in good mood now.
Well, he's been getting plenty of seat time on the simulator, and he feels like he's in a good form. But Diogo Correa also feels like he's in good form this weekend. He pumps his hands together and he fist bumps the sky. He wants this one. He's hungry for a little bit of a turn here at Drift Masters in 2026. Janilang fires from Kuba Brzezinski's GR86 as they come off the line. That B58 screaming against that BMW 3 Series. They fire into angle. Nice line on initiation from Diogo Correa, who's been looking rock steady, but a wobble after he hits the arm code. What can he do? Can he get himself back on that perfect qualifying line? And he can, as the Portuguese driver fires down onto the wall. Brzezinski trying to nose in the front of that GR86 as he goes for the dive into that final outside zone. No proximity, but gets there in the end.
Interesting one. Correa just... He's not all over the place, but he's right on the cusp of it.
He's on the limit.
He's pushing. He's pushing really, really hard. Good job on that initiation. Washes wide on that inside clip. Has to really fight to get that car back out. Kuba does a great job of taking a look at what's going on in front of him, going like, okay, I'm going to give him some space, because that was strange. And then even through here, Correa is basically driving through that zone. And obviously that's not, you know, drifting is not driving straight. And yeah, I think Kuba kind of saw those few moments and was like, I just want to hang back here. And I'm hoping it works out for him. I do think it's a smarter move than to overcommit on a driver that's not quite finding the correct spots on track.
Yeah, I think one little wobble there from Correa. The rest of the run wasn't overly bad.
But it's the mistake of 2 that then rears its head through 3 and into 4.
Well, they're off the line for the second half of the run. Kuba Brzezinski to lead out. Diogo Correa. Correa will know what he needs to do as he flicks that car in. Oh, it's brave. Oh, Correa hits the wall. And buried in the side of the track as Brzezinski now up and gone. He will have to complete the rest of the run as Brzezinski puts the foot to floor. Looks for the final outside zone, and Brzezinski works his way around that final outside zone and across the line.
Yeah, that's a rough go. It's a really, really rough go there for Correa, who's pushing. This is the most aggressive we've seen him in a very long time. Let's see how this plays out. Ooh, did he make contact? Okay, you did the same thing I did. I'm wondering if he made contact.
Watch Brzezinski.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So Kuba is grabbing the handbrake, which you're allowed to do. There is an orange zone. It's not quite a full decel. Yeah, you can see it in there. This is going to be interesting.
Well, in the driver's briefing earlier on, just to bring some light on the subject, me and Jacob went to the driver's briefing. The judges were saying in the driver's briefing that they didn't want to see a lot of slowing or any slowing at initiation or outside zone 1.
Yeah, you're allowed to change momentum there.
Yep.
And they say...
Which will naturally happen.
Which will naturally happen anytime you're going to initiate. But yeah, same thing is they don't want a lot of slowing. So this falls into that kind of at-fault type of situation.
This is the judge's replay.
Yeah, so they're going to be looking at where the contact is made, where the...
Well, look at the white line as well. The white line
1,
is
2,
there.
3, yeah. Okay. So let's see. So there's our lines for initiation, which he is. Is he getting back on throttle?
Yeah, and this is what the judge is going to be taking a look at. Is Kuba Brzezkonski on throttle when he needed to be on throttle, or was he still decelerating at that point?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, that orange zone does go past that first outside zone, so you have that opportunity, and I think it's right in that area. As we get into the international hand signs of drifting.
Yeah, Portuguese and a Polishman chatting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All with hand signals.
Here we go. Decisions in. Slide him left for Correa, right for Brzezkonski. And it's going to be Kuba Brzezkonski getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. And judges saying that Brzezkonski not at fault for the deceleration. It was on throttle at the right time, and that was Correa just coming in a little bit too hot and heavy.
I think Kuba didn't do the perfect thing, but Diogo did more of the wrong thing. That makes sense.
Well, look, before we kick off more action here at round 4 of Drift Masters, we're going to take a quick break in track action, but don't go anywhere, because behind the scenes, Red Bull have been creating some absolute magic. This is our mid-season highlight intro.
Drift Masters is probably the most exciting drift championship in the world.
Honestly, the highest level of drifting.
It's short, it's noisy, it's smoky, it's aggressive. There are some crashes.
Drift Masters to me is premium drift championship of the world, to be honest.
It's action, it's a show.
It's also an art of driving the car and controlling it.
There's so much style to it, there's so much flair, and it's very exciting to watch.
I'm very proud that I can be a part of it and a part of the journey that Drift Masters took.
Well, there we go. If you want to watch all of that, head on over to Red Bull TV and you can watch the whole mid-season documentary. I've heard it's electric, Jacob.
Yeah, it's a good time. Highly recommend. Great watch. Yeah. Like popcorn, you know, make an evening of it.
Okay, we will do. Sounds like a good night. Maybe we should do that one evening.
It's a date.
I don't want to listen to myself again, so maybe not. We will check it out, that's for sure. What we are checking out right now, though, is Jakob Kroll takes a big breath and slams the door closed on that carbon Kevlar S14.9, because it is going to be Oliver Randalou to lead out Jakob Kroll for a spot in the top 16. A little slow off the line. Oliver Randalou now gets himself into it as he swings that BMW E46 to angle, that M50 Turbo singing as he stands on the accelerator. Jakob Kroll, though, can't be shaken as he absolutely mirrors the angle and the line. They fire down the hill to outside zone 6. Kroll on the foot brake. Whoa, was there contact?
Oh, yeah.
Both guys get into the mix. They stand back on the throttle. Kroll way out of formation and across the line.
Yeah, and Randalou shuts it down a little bit early too. I think there was some car-on-car assault action going on there. Oliver Randalou, really quick, does take a minute to get back on throttle. I think he had just so much speed on the run-up that he had to float the car there for a second. Jakob Kroll doing a great job. Once again, love to see him in the pocket just a bit more. I kind of just want to see door-on-door basically through every turn. So. And then Randalou, he takes a minute to get that car rotated. We're going to see it here. Handbrake, he's letting the wheel out. That's a lot of handbrake. Great job, though. Drops the gear, pedals it around, does a good job of getting back out to that zone. So we'll have to, this is going to give us a good idea. Yeah, I don't want to lean. Do you know? What do you know?
I know some stuff.
You know things.
Yeah, I know things. So apparently, Jakob Kroll has taken damage to the car, and we are now waiting for the judges to deem fault of who it was. Was it Oliver Randalou excessively slow in the car? Look at that, the rear wheel absolutely bent. Or was that Jakob Kroll
being just too aggressive? Yeah, I mean, there's three options.
Oh no, that wheel.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
thanks, Martin.
You don't want toe out in the rear.
From the other angle, it looked like the other rear wheel was severely.
I mean, the positive camber that some of these drivers run, like how these cars act.
It took me a minute to realize that was the wrong side of the car. Then
it's okay. It's okay.
Well,
I know what you mean now.
Well, there we go. The judges saying that Jakob Kroll is at fault for the contact. Jakob Kroll is at fault for the contact. Judges deeming Kroll at fault. Now, Marcin will be down there, Jacob, and he now has to say, look, is the car safe to run? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the tough part. I mean, if that wheel is that towed out, that's not a great situation. I mean, Randalou, not a great transition, but he looks like he's back. He's getting back on throttle just at the end of the decel. There's not a lot of room there. It's kind of similar to what we saw with the Simon Olsen situation. Yeah, okay. I wonder. I know. I wish we could just place cameras everywhere. We could see everything, but well, tough call.
Is Jakob Kroll going to pull something? Jakob Kroll is there, and Oliver Randalou is talking to our star line, Marshall Marcin. So we are going to see if this may be a buy run from Oliver Randalou. Has Jakob Kroll decided to not run the car? Is the car deemed unsafe?
Okay. That seems to be the case.
Oh, so here we go. It looks like we're going to send these guys round for a result.
Kroll's car. It's
grabbing. Yeah, you can see it there as he comes down. So Jakob Kroll's car looks to be deemed unsafe to run by our start line Marshall Marcin, who is the last point of call for most of our drivers, and unfortunately has to be the bearer of bad news as well sometimes for these guys. They're going to come round and get the decision, and we're going to see how the judges deem this one. Could be clear-cut, could be the way we think it's going to go, but we never know.
Yeah, we want to get clarification, and once again, the judges have access to all the angles and can go back and forth, whereas we just kind of see what you see.
Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, it's going to be Oliver Randalou getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. David Kalas, we're going to come to you real quick.
Yeah, it all comes to that contact at just after the outer zone 5. You can see here that Kuba is having way shallower line, very small angle, which is speeding him up down the hill, and he's having just too much speed. Oliver was maybe tiny bit later on the throttle, but we can see that there was a mistake from both drivers, but we see bigger mistake from Kuba's side.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, and unfortunately, sad weekend there for Jakob Kroll, not really having the season he would have hoped for, that's for sure. We go back down on start line. It's going to be one of our wildcard driver, Mads Andersen from Denmark, to take on the one and only Jack Shanahan, our third place qualifier. Shanahan down there on the line, ready to do action, but let's hear from him first.
Right now, where I sit in the championship, it's not really important for me to try to win it anymore, so I need to try to get some pressure off my shoulders, just try to get a result. I have been trying super hard, but just the results haven't been showing, and it's a bit frustrating because it's the best the car has been, it's the easiest it's been to drive, just for some reason struggling with some of the smaller stuff. So this weekend we're just trying to learn a new track, try to figure it out, and just hopefully enjoy it as much as we can.
Well, it all hangs on Jack Shanahan's shoulders this afternoon. Can Shanahan fly the flag for the family as he sits on the line against a very determined and a man that is in the zone and ready to do action? He knows he has an incredible person to try and take down as they come off the line and through the gears. Shanahan fires that GT86 in. Mads Andersen leaves a low bunch of room there, and he goes wide off the edge of the circuit. Can he hold on to it? Now he's lost in the background as Jack Shanahan comes flying down to outside zone 6. Hardly any decent when he gets back on throttle nice and early. Shanahan into that final outside zone. Andersen goes for it. Oh, across the line.
I got a little worried there that Matt was gonna kind of throw a last-ditch effort in.
And yeah, make some contact. Yeah.
Yeah, for Matt, it was just the start line, and unfortunately for a lot of drivers that are coming into this wild, new to the championship. I mean, Matt has been a wild card before, but it's tough. It's really tough to get that timing down. It's just very different than what they may be used to, and I mean, Jack is so quick out of the gate. I think he could be a drag racer if he wasn't doing drifting, that's for sure. What I am liking from Jack's side of things, as much as I'd love to see that huge back again, kind of took the notes from the meeting and went, okay, I got to chill a bit. That's fine. I got to drive, and part of winning this is driving to what the judges want, not to what you want to do. But yeah, Jack did everything he needed to out front. Unfortunately for Mads, the race was kind of lost before it began.
Yeah, unfortunately so. And yeah, you can't give these guys any room on initiation. You really need to be in the pocket or on the back bumper. They're back on the line. They wait to get that green light as Anderson leaves the line and comes through the gears. Shanahan to give chase as he works that GTX 6-2 angle. He's going to play it safe though. Look at this, gives him the room to manoeuvre. You would have been told on the radio by the spotters that he wasn't in the fight, but now Shanahan starts to push down on the inside of that turbo V8 BMW E92 as Anderson fires it towards back on throttle nice and early. Shanahan goes for the dive. Oh, look at this. Anderson shuts it down, and Shanahan will finish out the run. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. That sucks. Hopefully nothing massive mechanical-wise for Mads, and no cleanup or anything needed. So I'm not entirely sure why that shut down when it did and where it did, but a fairly easy decision coming our way. Mads looked good here, Jack. Yeah, it gave him a lot of room.
Yeah.
Knew he could catch up with him, knew he could close the gap. Mads seemed like he was kind of slowing down through different parts of this track. Coming through this section, I mean, he had good transitions. It was a solid lead run. Would like to see, obviously, angle through that section of the track, but throws a bunch up here. And even as he was exiting and heading towards the inside clip, you could already tell things weren't looking great for Mads, but Jack doing a good job of keeping him within striking distance without overcommitting, and makes the pass there and over the line.
Yeah, I think Shanahan will take that.
Yeah, even through this inside clip, I was looking at kind of the angle as he's coming in. I'm like, it's not going to be good. And then just shuts it down. So hopefully for Mads, it wasn't, I obviously would like to know what happened there, but hopefully nothing major.
Yeah, no, hopefully nothing major. And such a nice young guy, a smiley face in the paddock, and a guy that's really determined to try and do well. Look at this, you can see, like, shape of the head. He knew there was something wrong with the car. And
yeah,
I mean, when the machinery lets you down, Jacob, what can you do?
It's not often that an M60 lets you down, but it does happen sometimes.
And there we go, slide him left for Shanahan, right for Anderson. It's going to be a simple one for the judges. It's going to be Jack Shanahan taking it through to the top 16. And Shanahan will take that, a few more points in the bag. He said he's holding on for the championship, but in 10th place at the moment.
Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, especially with a driver where you don't feel any pressure. You can just go out and drive.
Yep, so there we go. The Crazy Finish fans stand to attention because they have one of their up-and-coming superstars on the line. And it will be Kim Brockland on the line to chase down Jason Benet.
Love the hat. Absolutely love the hat.
So a switch up here. Auckland's opted to chase first.
Interesting. Okay.
The higher qualifier has opted to chase first.
I wonder, maybe more used to that position? I don't know.
Yeah, not sure. Well, look at this. Oh, laser focused. Visor down, not looking at the camera. He's in the zone. It's going to be Finland's very own Kim Brockland to take on Jason Benet in that Subaru BRZ. As Brockland slams through the gears, Jason Benet flicks that Subaru BRZ to angle, sets himself up lovely, now stands on the accelerator. Brockland, though, with him, looks for the side of the Frenchman Subaru. What can they do outside zone 5? Lovely from both of these guys at the moment. As Kim Brockland then gets lost in the smoke, and Benet transitions to that final outside zone. A last dive up to the door, but he just can't get there.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out the way that Kim was hoping.
No.
That's for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, given the choice, I don't think I'd want Jason Benet to take a lead on fresh tires.
No, yeah.
Very, very quick. One of the fastest drivers out here. I mean, both of them had a solid run. Kim's, it's a good chase, but once again, as you move up into this, the highest echelon of drifting, you gotta be on people's doors. And Kim goes for a really nice dive through here, but you almost have to be on throttle at the exact same time that the lead car is in order to stay with them. And Kim kind of waits for Jason to light off again, and by then it's too late. You've got to almost read the mind of that lead driver, but very calm in that chase position. Like to see it very, very locked in. But Jason Benet out front just doing what Jason Benet does. It's a great run. Would like to see a bit more angle through a couple of sections there. Did feel like it was a speedy run, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of the game.
I think that's typical Jason Benet-esque run. Very fast, very, on the edge. And I think, or I wonder if Kim Brockland maybe thought, he's not that fast. I'll chase him down, but you can't let one of these seasoned Drift Masters drivers out on circuit on fresh tyres to lead first. Here we go, they're off the line. In Morgan now to lead out Jason Benet for a spot in the top 16 as he puts that car to big angle. It's a nice initiation from the Finnish driver. And the Frenchman now starts to stare down the circuit, looking at the Finishman drive away as they fire to outside zone 6. Jason Benet not really in the fight here. He needs to make a move as he transitions that fire in outside zone. Kim Borgland on the wall and across the line.
Not what I was expecting
either, no.
No, and there's a bit of a horsepower discrepancy here. We're 200 horsepower between them, which in this sport is quite a lot. That's a big gap. I thought Benet would be absolutely all over him. So Kim, good on initiation. Nothing weird there. Inside clip looking good. Pulls some angle out to stretch the car up the hill. All the load on the drivetrain to that section of the track. It's taking out a lot of components. Benet just going wide. That was strange.
I think this all stems back to an initiation. I think that Benet thought that Kim was going to be slower than he was.
Yeah, maybe, and gave him a bit too much respect.
And he gave him some room, and he gave him some respect, and then Kim stands on the front when he drives away from Benet.
Yeah, really weird. I mean, there was nothing in Kim's lead that I was like, oh, missed this part of the track and was able to pick up a bunch of speed, but Benet at one point in time shoots pretty wide, gets off where the rubber's been laid in, and you're not going to find any grip out on the fresh pavement.
And you watch Benet's kind of shortcutting most of the circuit.
Yeah.
To gain some proximity. It doesn't really get any proximity until there at the finish line.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's good you got something, but really, really strange. Benet out looking a little frustrated with himself.
Yeah, I think Jason Benet knows he could have done a better job there, especially in that chase position. Could have tucked up on the pocket, maybe underestimated the Finnish driver as they both jump out of the cars, and we await to get the decision from our judges.
You're fast. I think we need a mic in there. I mean, we might have to put a bit of a delay just to check for language, but I like that. A little cool down room.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Fans are ready to receive the decision. Judges are still deliberating this one, so this one not as clear cut maybe as we assumed.
There we go.
As the helmet's
waving
off.
to the home fans, yeah.
Yeah, a wave to the home fans.
This is a tough call. The results starting to come in.
Well, here we go. Slide them left for Kim, slide them right for Benet. It's going to be Jason Benet, but a split judging panel. And these guys not having an easy weekend now. Judges really being put through the ringer, and David Callas looks at me and smiles and says, you could say that.
Yeah, I think when we've got a new track that you're going to find that happen. But here is another big one. James Dean well within the championship fight, taking on David Sposso.
Yeah. Well, let's have a chat with James Dean before we send him off the line.
Yeah, so after 3 rounds, the top guys are really close in the championship, so it's really still like we're at round 1. Nobody really has a big advantage at the top end of the scale. That's really exciting, you have to push. Every battle counts, every lap counts. Yeah, we're going to be on a mission this weekend, and hopefully it all works out.
Well, hopefully it does work out, and they'll be sitting on the start line thinking, well, Connor Shanahan, who was second in the championship, is now out of competition, so losing points. James Dean will be hoping that he can take down the Polishman David Sposso in this Nissan Silvia S15. That Ford Mustang RTR screams off the line and through the gears as Dean flicks that car across the circuit. Nice initiation. Sposso knows he can trust Dean, but he needs to keep up. He needs to keep the pace, and now Dean starts to turn the wick and drive away as Dean puts that Mustang right to the edge of outside zone 5. The big flick down the hill as Dean stands on the accelerator once again, and we lose David Sposso in a cloud of smoke. And Sposso desperate to try and gain some proximity back across the line.
Yeah, this car really is. It's built, it's designed, it is meant for tracks like this.
Yeah.
Big sweeping corners. I mean, spots where you can really move around and play with it. It's a very large car, but James Dean drives it like it's tiny. And for Sposso, he stayed in the fight the entire way through, but as we've seen this entire weekend, James Dean is on another level. First run out of the gate, he looked incredible, and it hasn't slowed down at any point in time. Qualifying was incredible, and this lead run is just a continuation of that. Just touching the bumper anywhere he needs to, doing a great job through the inside clips. and doing it all at an absurd speed.
So. Yeah, a lot of pace in that Mustang this weekend. Those guys have been working away on it in between runs, in between practice sessions, trying to get it dialed in to absolute perfection.
And pace without cutting corners.
Yeah.
You can. There are drivers that are really fast but will miss zones, or they will do it without a lot of angle. This Mustang it's fast no matter what it's doing. It's fast sitting still.
Well, here we go. It looks like Spossup's car maybe getting a little hot here in Finland.
How many fans do we have now?
Loads.
Crazy.
We have a lot. We have a lot of equipment.
It's amazing.
Drift Masters now.
Just every event. There's
Tools,
more.
fans, crew.
Just getting bigger every day.
Here we go. James Dean purges a nitrous and sits in that chase position, creeps off the line. Spossup gets the green light to go, a spot in the top 16, awaits for one of them. McCann, the Polishman, now overturn the Irishman as he fires the S15 in and stands on the accelerator himself, a little inside on inside zone 2, as Dean gives him the room to maneuver. Doesn't want to push too hard just yet. When will Dean make the dive? Will he make it down outside zone 6? He doesn't really make a dive yet, as Spossup puts on a masterclass out front in that lead position. Dean needs to make a dive here on the door, and he does, but right on the edge of the run.
Yeah, I was expecting it a little bit earlier. It looked like he got caught up just a bit through 6 and 7, just hanging tight, kind of waiting for that moment. But let's take a look here. David Spossup looks good on that first part of the initiation. Bit of a wobble, slightly inside through 2. James Dean, he's still within striking distance, but yeah, not able to really get into the side of him. I might have to take another look at the tire bins and see, are we at a point where the drivers have found so much into this that the tire game is starting to come into effect again? Because it feels like it a little bit.
Yeah, Dean way on the inside there. Look at this on outside zone 6.
Yeah.
Finds himself way on the inside.
This is what I mean. This is where he had to hang tight. Transitions, back on throttle. Now he gains the proximity. Interesting.
I fully expected James Dean to make a move earlier in the run, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Kind of get on the door of 5 and then chase Spossup down through the last half of the run.
Yeah.
He didn't really make that move, and I'm surprised to see that, Jacob.
Yeah, so am I. I didn't see anything with Spossup's initiation that maybe threw James off. There was nothing where I was like, oh, okay, this is why he's back there. So it might have just been playing it safe, but who knows? See what the judges think.
Yeah, we'll see what the judges think. Spossup, big smile on his face as the decision comes in. It's going to be left for Spossup, right for James Dean. It's going to be James Dean taking the win, advancing through to the top 16. And I'll catch up with the judges later on because they're still having a chat about previous runs and the whole thing. Yeah, so we'll...
it's all they do is talk about drifting.
They talk about drifting
all the time.
Here we go, back down on the line we go. It's going to be the final battle of our top 32, where we have a one more time battle to go between Zachariah and Hines, but that will be at the end of our top 32. So our official final battle of top 32 is Nasser Al-Habali to take on Timur Sunma, and the higher qualifier Habali opting to lead first as the anti-lag fires on the Finnish driver's car. He creeps up to the line, but what can the man from El Salvador do as he flicks that V8 supercharged Nissan 400Z to angle? Look at this from Sunma. He doesn't want to let Habali get away. He knows that this man has been making moves in the championship in 2026 as Habali pushes it right to the edge of the circuit. Sunma keeps within striking distance, looks for the side of that carbon Kevlar. Nissan 400Z goes for a dive, almost hits Habali across the line.
There we go. There's the Sunma we've been waiting for a little bit. Yeah, he's taken this season and just continuously gotten better and upped his game, but still lacking some of the aggression that I've seen come from him before, but came into it this time. It was great, and I mean Nasser, he's got a solid lead run. A lot of drivers cutting out some angle though, and it's a little bit concerning. That's interesting. Assume third gear, as we can see by the gear indicator, assuming it's working. Just interesting to understand how different drivers are gearing this. Some of them going 4, dropping down 3 through this section. So, yeah, love to get a little bit more nosy on that. But here it is, Sunma going in for that little bit of a love tap.
Yeah, I think he did just rub a wheel down the side of Habali's car there.
Big handbrake pull to get that car into it, and now down to 2. Oh, interesting. They're just changing how that gearing layout is. That's going to make one kind of interesting on run-up. Yeah. Really interesting.
Oh, and here we go.
Power steering.
And looks like we may have rubber on the exhaust manifold. And a common trait for a lot of these cars, as you hear Martin say, it's okay. He's
Wasn't
happy.
sure.
Yeah.
Is that a probing stick? I don't know if he was checking the oil there.
Yeah, rubber on the exhaust is what we're being told.
Yeah.
And Martin just checking their car out. And again, another tool. A long reach grabby stick.
Yeah, grabber, as my kids called it.
Grabber.
Grabber.
There we go. Timo Sundma gives Martin the thumbs up. He's ready to go. Look at the nervous shake on the leg for Sundma. He's now in that lead position. He hammers through the gears. He knows that Harbali won't let him get away as he flicks that 400Z across the back bumper of that BMW. They hammer through the top end of the hill, and look at this from Harbali now. He starts to creep down the inside. He would have known from his spot of what Sundma was doing. And look at this from Harbali. Oh, wow! Climbs the back end of Sundma at outside zone 6. Sundma puts that car to the final outside zone across the line. Wow.
Big hit. And thankfully both of them stayed out of the wall. That spot I've been staring at all weekend.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That car is not in a good shape.
No. Well, let's see how
We're going to see it from the drone. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see how it all works out. Sundma looking good through that part. I was a little concerned he might be too far inside. A little bit of a wobble back and forth, just trying to massage his way. And Nasser really aggressive. Let's take a look at this transition. Nasser right tip to tail.
Wow.
And it seemed like Sundma was just a slow transition out to the wall, and Nasser might have been expecting a bit more. To be interesting, he's on left foot brake, transitions out, kind of knows something's happened, but probably didn't realize what all had happened. Oh man, I'm sure the ride in Nasser's car was very different. Oh man, catches the wall. That's gonna be several corners. Yeah,
I want to see it from this angle. This is what I want to see.
I think Sundma's trying to transition out, and Nasser is just right there.
I'll tell you what the judges are looking at. They're looking at when Timo Sundma decelled.
Interesting. Well, yeah.
Because from the onboard, Jacob, I will say it does look like he decelled way before where the decel cone is.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to show us that. You've got some fancy new technical equipment, stuff that is way above my ability to use. And, oh my God, Nasser Al-Habali's car is absolutely in ribbons.
Yeah, really tough one. Yeah, the decel is really going to be looking.
Yeah, and I'm watching the judges' replay across mine and Jacob's desk, and the judges are looking at the decel. That's exactly what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's going to be where that cone is going to be pretty crucial, and kind of where you can see some of the smoke. So let's stop it just before they get to the red cone, right about there. So that is where, as you can see right here, there's the red cone. So pretend that is the line. And that is where you can start to decel. And even if, I don't know if we can run this in reverse, you'll probably start to see where Sundma's smoke is shutting off. Yeah, so we can clear this out. And we can pause there. That'd be great. So that is the decel spot. And I'm starting to see that Sundma is already kind of running out of smoke through that section. So yeah. I don't want to jump to any conclusions on it, but that's kind of the way it looks as he's shooting out there, and that's probably what the judges have been looking. Well, it is what the judges. Yeah, that's what the judges are looking at.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're assuming here we're looking at this from fan perspectives, but our judges obviously going to give us a real decision of what happened there and how they see it. But from what we're seeing and our opinion, Jacob, which counts for nothing, by the way.
Yeah, but I get to draw now.
You are?
I said I get to draw now, though.
Right, so look, we can see Nasser Al-Habali in the car. We're going to go to you, David Kalas, because you do have an official opinion on this, and one that is way more higher up than mine and Jacob's.
One of the crucial setups of decelerations are that the deceleration needs to happen after the transition is finished. And if we will look on that, we can see that the lead car started the deceleration still rotating, not giving enough space for the chaser. So we're blaming that on the leader. So Nasser is going through.
Wow, thank you very much. So, hey, we know stuff about drifting. Who would have known?
Yeah, well, the only upside for Nasser at this point in time is we do have a break here. and he is on the last set of battles when we get into top 16. So they've got a lot of work to do in the pits.
Yeah, I mean, look, we need to make it official. Decisions in, slide them left for Harbali, right for Sunmay. It's going to be Nasser Al-Harbali taking the win and advancing through into the top 16. But his paddock now will be an absolute barn fight of guys down there trying to get that car repaired. Look, we have oil on the track, we have damaged suspension parts, we have damaged wheels. That is not going to be an easy fix. But as you say, we do have quite a lot of time before he's due back out for his top 16 battle.
Yeah, the hard part is you hope he's got all the spare parts. A lot of these drivers are fully kitted out, but you don't always know what's been broken. And sometimes it's really strange stuff that you're like, why would I need to find, you know, a new strut tower to weld in? You know, things, because it happens, right? And it's not like anybody else on the grid has that car. The drivers are really good at sharing parts when it comes to it. Everyone will group together. You'll see, probably during our break, you will see drivers from other teams and crew and mechanics going in and you know, trying to help wherever they can.
Exactly that.
But that's a lot of damage.
I'll tell you something about Nasser Al-Harbali. When he shipped that car over from Dubai, he said to me, I'm shipping everything to build another spare car in the paddock. So I know he has a whole host of parts. Now, I don't know, obviously, the extent of the damage that's been done to the car. As we say, there is fluid on the track. That could be oil, it could be coolant. We don't know. It could be brake fluid at this point.
Well, he was grinding as he was coming to a halt.
There were sparks coming from the underneath of the car.
And I mean, depending on how he has his coolant lines set up, some drivers have them because they're running rear mount rads. They'll run them underneath the car. It's possible he's ground through those. If you got a spare TIG welder, he's probably going to need that. Hey, you know how to weld. Might
I'm
see
busy.
you out there.
I'm busy. I've got some stuff to do. A lunch.
Yes. Thankfully, the crew here, incredible job getting him off track. So fantastic work to all the track staff for clearing that up quite quickly as we see our one more time battle starting to scrub in their tires in the background.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, sorry, just chatting to the crew behind the scenes and making sure we all know what's going on. It looks like we have our final battle of our top 32. Our one more time between Marco Zaccaril and Alan Hines warming up on the line. Now, you mentioned that Zaccaril's car might not be at 110%, Jacob.
Just how it felt.
Yeah,
he's chasing again.
He's chasing again.
Yeah.
Is that car 110%?
I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder.
I'm going to listen to it. That's a big indicator. Especially going up the hill, because that's where a lot of load is. But if we see Zaccaril really lose pace again, going up the hill against Hines, I think it's pretty clear. But yeah, fingers crossed, all the inside bits stay there.
Yeah, the inside bits stay on the inside and they don't come to the outside. Well, here we go. Alan Hines sits on the line in that Nissan Silvia S14.9, that Dean M Sport built car. Zaccaril in the zone, focused. That BMW M2 F22 Volkswagen 4-cylinder powered car comes off the line. Both cars looking a little worse for wear right now, but it doesn't matter because one spot away to the top 16 as they fire in. Look at this from Zaccaril. Gets onto the back bumper straight away of Alan Hines, but Alan Hines now turns the screw and starts to drive away from Marco Zaccaril as they go to outside zone 5 and a big flick to outside zone 6. Zaccaril can't get himself in the fight once again as Alan Hines puts it to final outside zone. Zaccaril with a brave dive across the line.
I love both of them. Clean things up. Oh, little cheeky bash after the line.
Oh, they're getting a little fruity down there.
A little bit. Oh man, I love that both of them have cleaned up their act. They've taken the notes, they've come back and said, okay, this is what I need to do. Zaccaril's still off the pace. Yeah, I mean, didn't hear anything too crazy. Obviously, there's not a massive streak of oil down the track, so everything's holding together good, but just not able to keep up the pace of Alan Hines, who is still driving an incredible lead run. He's very, very technical. He's a clean driver. He's starting to get his style back into it, which is phenomenal to see. And Zaccaril just not able to keep up with the young Irishman. Not until the very end of this where Zaccaril has to make a big dive in and they go over that bump. And Zaccaril still keeping the proximity even well after the line. And a little hip check there. So see how it plays out when we swap it around. Zaccaril's going to get the fresh air. Alan Hines will be chasing him down with what feels like a bit more pace, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Zaccaril, look at that way on the inside, taking that cone to the face of the car. Just trying to shortcut the circuit, trying to gain some proximity that he lost after initiation. They're back on the line and swapped around. Zaccaril now to lead out Alan Hines, the Irishman, sits in that S14.9 kind of nodding his head again. He's on the radio to the spot. Look at that, and Alan Hines, you know, following along with him. Not only an incredible sim drifter, but his father, one of the icons in Irish drifting, the grandfather of drift, we like to call him. Yep. He is his spotter, so he'll be in the spotter tower giving him all the information he needs to know. And Zachary, look at that, a little more relaxed now after the first run's done.
Yeah,
is that a good buy? He's going to absolutely go for it, or is that?
That's I'll see in top 16.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
He's a super confident guy.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
He's a very nice guy. A very good team around him. Incredibly friendly.
If you want to learn about that engine, just ask. He'll give you the full rundown. Loves talking about it.
Make sure you got a seat and some time.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's I'm almost all these drivers are so friendly. Just want to hang out and chat about their cars and about drifting. How things go.
Yeah, there we go. Wait for the green light to go. Zachary now to lead out Alan Hines for the final spot. Top 16 awaits as they come through the gears. Look for the initiation. It's early from both guys as Alan Hines fires it on big angle and almost gets himself caught up. Where was Zachary on that inside zone too? But look at Alan Hines now really pushing, putting the pressure on Zachary as the driver from the Czech Republic goes shallow on some of these outside zones. What can he do? He's trying to drive away from Alan Hines. He fires it deep into that final outside zone and across the line.
It'll be another good look at 7, I think, and seeing where Zacharill is to understand Alan Hines and how he ended up wrapping up the end of that chase run. Zacharill unloading that. Look at how soft that rear suspension is. I didn't realize that contact coming up the hill.
Yeah, I wanted to see where Zacharill was.
Oh, not too bad. Alan just looks like he catches some understeer coming up the hill. Does a good job of getting back into it. Now we're starting to regain that proximity. As they transition back out, so Zacharill not terrible through there. Alan really on the inside, wavering a bit to try and find the door of Marco Zacharill. And then it'll be as they come through this part. Great job there from Marco. Alan does a good transition at that point, and Zacharill's just already back on the pace, although Marco's zone 8 is a little bit V'd out. It's not quite that nice U shape. He comes into it a little bit late, gets really deep into it, getting real close to the wall if not touching it, and then shoots out a bit early. So see how this one plays out as we get that beautiful shot coming over the crest of the hill and several meters downhill as the cars unload and find a lot of grip coming down there. Over 140 kilometers an hour for almost every driver.
Yeah, the lean on Zacharill's car as he comes over the crest of that hill is incredible.
Very soft in the rear, trying to find a lot of grip. Just a lot of very dynamic rear end of the car.
Well, there we go. Decision looks like it may be dropping in. Zacharill's smiling. Either way, whatever happens, he's having a fun weekend so far, and he was very happy with his qualifying result. A slide of left for Alan Hines, right for Marco Zacharill, who's taking top 16. It's going to be Alan Hines. Alan Hines gets the win, advances through to the top 16. And the man from Ireland waves his hands around and says, job done for me. It's another one, another step closer to getting into the big show. Can he make it all the way through, though? He's been close before, and he's looking very strong right now.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good. Very, very confident. And this is the way things stack up going into our top 16. There is fun battles already.
There certainly is. Well, look at that. The first battle straight out of the gate. Peter Viensek to take on Kevin Purser. Two very, very fast men will be kicking off top 16 action. James Dean take on Nasser Al-Habali down there. The final battle of top 32.
I think the Finnish fans are going to be super pumped over Juha Rintanen and Jarkko Jula. Yeah. That's going to be a fun one.
Well, unfortunately, it will only be one finish that could go through, and we'll have one Finishman in the Grade 8, and that was all we'll have. So unfortunately, all of the rest of the Finnish drivers knocked out competition.
Yeah, Paul Korpelinski, Alan Hines, another really good one. Both drivers just feel like they're on it today and very technical.
Well, can Alan Hines cause some upset and do it right for the Irish right now and keep the Irish hope alive of taking back another championship to Ireland? Everyone will be looking at Alan Hines to take down Korpelinski. Two very good drivers, two very good sim drifters together. That's going to be very interesting. It's been an interesting top 32, Jacob. Top 16's only going to get better. Jane, it's been an incredible start to the competition here in Finland.
Right, what a top 32 filled with upsets again. Connor Shanahan out before he even get to start. Mika Keskikorpi out, and only two Finnish guys, Jarkko Jylhä and Juha Rintanen, left. But this is drifting And it's about to get more exciting. Just make sure you join us here back in Red Bull TV, live from Finland, 3:20 local time. See you then.